So next stage is the cornrows. So after the single plaits, we're looking at cornrows, and cornrows again starts with the natural cornrows. So you remember I just showed you where you create the strands of cornrows on a track, you create the design. So that's what we call it, a predetermined track. So you created natural hair with a predetermined track. You can be as creative as you want to be. So you have things like the zigzag, which is the one I showed you earlier, zigzag, and then you have crisscross sometimes, so the strands are going across each other, and then you have what we call the pineapple cornrow, where you take all the cornrows to the crown and you can add as much extensions and color as you like. And then we have the French cornrows, where instead of going underneath to pick the strands of hair, you're taking it from over the strands of hair. Then we have cornrows with hair extensions. Again, whatever color of extensions will create the amazing look that you want. So cornrows, to me, is one of the most creative of all the natural hair designs. You can be as creative as you want to be. You can all go to the left, you can all go to the right, you can come to the middle, you can go to the back, you can bring some to the front, whatever takes your design. When you go and search on cornrows in Google or on my site on Facebook, just say creative cornrows and you're going to see so much options that it will give you reason to be creative. So single plaits, cornrows, twisting is next. So whenever you have to deal with twists, we're taking two strands of hair and we're wrapping them around each other. So after the natural two strand twist, then we have the one strand twist. You take one strand of hair and you just intertwine it, and it starts sometimes as what we end up calling locks. Then we have the Nubian twist, and Nubian twist is when you use the yarn braiding type of hair, which is wool, and you wrap them over each other. Then we call it Nubian twist. Then we have Senegalese twist, and Senegalese twist is when you use the very natural, silky hair. Sometimes we call it silky twist as well. Silky hair, and you creating the two strand twist, and they become Senegalese twist. Now there are two ways you can do that. You can start the Senegalese twist by braiding it from the beginning, so that's the braid Senegalese twist, or you start the twisting right at the roots, and that's what we call the root Senegalese twist. And then we have the Afro kinky twist, where you actually take Afro hair, which is a type of hair called the Afro kinky hair, and you use it and you twist it on the client's head. Now this is quite popular right now because lots of people want to have that Afro look. Afro kinky twist is one of those styles where, again, we've become very creative with it, in the sense of there are different types. There's a very dry feel of Afro kinky, there's a medium feel of Afro kinky, and then there's a very soft feel of Afro kinky. So when you're looking in magazines for Afro kinky, you have to be very sure again with your client what kind of feel they are looking for. Is it the soft look? That's what I tend to ask. Or is it the dry look? Or is it just the medium look? So whatever it is they want, let them give you the chance to understand clearly what they're looking for. Again, magazines like this will help you understand the different types that they want. Like we said, Allah have make the choice. Then we have the African twist. African twist is when you take silky hair extensions and you finish the braiding. Most times we use the wool to do that twisting, and you actually pull and push the hair back, and it gives you really chunky look, and that's called the African twist. Again, search that out for yourself. And then we have the flat twist, where the strands of hair are actually a bit like the cornrow, but instead of twisting to create that single look, we're actually twisting on a predetermined track. So it's just like cornrows, but instead of just interweaving them, you're actually intertwining the client's hair on the scalp. Then we have the comb twist. Comb twist, you're using the comb. You use the comb and you stick it into the natural client's hair, and then you roll the comb, and that automatically creates a twist information, and that's what sometimes is used to start the locks. And then we have the twist out, where you have braided the client's hair in two strand twist. So you have your two strand twist, and what we've done is occasionally, after about 2 days of twisting, that's an example of a twist out. So instead of just leaving the hair in twist, you take it out of the twist and you end up having the formation of what the twist looks like. So now the next stages of our understanding of the natural hairstyles is the locks. And the locks is what comes out in that format. So these are our locks. Now locks are usually, when you take a strand of hair, there's so many different ways of forming locks. You take one strand of hair and you just intertwine them into themselves. See that? That's a very good example of locks. So these ones were formed with a comb twist. So lots of ways you can start locks. So if you're very keen on understanding locks, again, you could start with YouTube to understand how locks are done. But after that, if you wanted to know more, we're here to help. We're happy to train you in locks. But the different types of locks that exist out there is one they call the dreadlocks. And the dreadlocks are usually the chunkier strands of locks, the hair that's been locked in. Then there's the other one called the sister locks, and sister locks are really small strands of hair. They're so small, they look like your own natural strand of hair. Again, there's a lady who specializes in creating the sister locks, and she teaches it from the US, and people travel all over the world to go meet her to learn from her. It's up to you if that's the kind of design you like to own. Research sister locks and you get so much information on it. The one we call the baby locks is when you start locks from very short hair. And because the hair is so short and it's just starting, we call it the baby locks, and sometimes we call it the start up locks. So while the hair is starting from very short length, it is a baby because you're grooming it, you want it to grow up. And the only time you can be calling locks old locks is when it's about 5 years old. Again, for me personally, when people want to go into the locks area, I usually chat with my client for a very long time because I want to be sure that this is really what you want. Locks is a bit permanent, not permanent as is your hair can never change again, but once you have been able to create locks, you do not want to go back and say, let me take it out. It doesn't come out. I've had products that claim that they can actually release your 5-year-old locks. Trust me, hair itself does not go in that formation. There are hair strands that have no connection with the roots of your head, and so they're stuck inside the locks. So if you try to take them out, your whole hair will look very sparse. So once you're really ready for locks, be sure that that's what you want and then go for it. But if you're not sure, there are other options. There are lock extensions. There's so many different ways people do them. So one of the ones we do is we work with 100% human hair that is made for Afro kinky. And that's what we use in creating the lock extension. Again, it's a very specialized field, and I only recommend it on a client if the client is 100% sure they want to have locks. So when the client goes for locks, 5 years locks, that's about nice for a head of locks, and hair really does grow very well, so it's an option. So silky locks is another one. Silky locks is you take the silky hair extension and then you just wrap it around a strand of braids. Now that then creates this very shiny straight look. Some people, my children, they call it snake hair, but then it creates that snake effect. Now the beauty of silky locks is you can really use that to create amazing designs, especially for like hair shows where you want your clients or your model to stand out differently. You can use different colors of hair extensions to create an amazing intricate look that people will notice. It's so visible you cannot pretend you didn't see the silky locks. Then there's a palm roll where you actually take your palm and just wrap a strand of single strand single strand hair, and you just keep rolling it. And when you do that, it creates it to sort of like lock itself into each other, and that becomes the palm roll. Then there's the lock extension where I talked about that. Again, there are different ways. There's the one you actually weave on, which is where you actually take a needle and thread and stitch it in. And then there's ready-made locks. They come in strands and you actually braid them in. And then there's the one where we use the 100% human hair to create it. Okay, so the next stage is our weaves. And weaves, I tried to explain a bit earlier. Weaves, there's so many different ways of doing weaves. Weaves started with the using of needle and thread to stitch this hair extension onto your client's head of cornrows. So we finished creating a cornrow, and we take hair extensions and we stitch it into the cornrow. So that's weave. So the first stage of weave is where you have the full head weave. So that's a full head weave. This head, the whole head has been put in cornrow and extensions has been stitched onto it. There are so many other types of weave. There's the one where you leave a bit of the client's own hair out, and so we call the partial client's natural hair. So the client's natural hair is left open, and then you weave the rest at the back and then release the client's hair. And sometimes if it was somebody who was wearing natural hair, you then have to either hot comb the hair, and I've had people actually relax that little bit or put chemicals in that little bit. Now my problem with that is what happens is the hair texture of the one here and the rest of the hair then don't connect anymore, and the hair gets damaged eventually. But my recommendation, being a natural hair person, is always go for the full hair weave. But I hear people complain all the time because their hair is natural, their stylist says they cannot give them a full head weave because their hair is so thick and too much underneath the weave. There's so many things you can do. There's also the net weave, where you can actually get the weave net and put on the client's hair, so it makes the hair a lot easier to work with. So there's so many ways you can look at it. There's a track weave, where the client has a relaxed, chemically processed hair, and what you do is, instead of doing the whole head in a weave, you actually get sections of tracks. And when we say tracks, we're talking about cornrows. So you take tracks of cornrows, you could go for 3, you could go for 4, and you just put sets of weave in them, and it just helps to give her hair volume if she had very limp hair. Then we have the closure weave, where a section of this extension has been created for you, and you could just buy that. If you buy that, you don't have to go and create. You can still create the client's whole hair in cornrows. But why some people prefer closure weave is, some stylists don't know how to give a hair weave a natural closure. Like this doll has got a really, really lovely closure. Closure is a major thing in the weaving technique, so people struggle with how to make it look really natural. So to avoid this problem, what some people do is just get their closure hair piece. So the hair piece is already created, and all you do is just stitch it on at the point where you want to finish it, the closing. Then we have the cornrow design weave, where what happens is the client's whole hair in front is created in intricate cornrows, and then you stitch the back and give her the long hair. People want that sometimes. Then we have the braid design weave, where again this client wears natural hair. I get that a lot with my clients. She wears natural hair. She doesn't want to create anything artificial. She wants it to look good, and so don't give me any bumpy finish. And she says to you, finish that final part with single plaits. And what they do is they get the 100% human hair in same texture as the one they use for the weave, and then you braid the hair in micro braids. The other way I play around that is I braid it with the tree braid plaits. So it gives you a lot of fullness, and it actually camouflages the single plaits away. Then we have the gel design weave, where instead of using the cornrow to design the front, you actually put some gel, but most times these are like chemically relaxed hair. You put some gel and create what they used to call the finger wave. Again, you finish creating all that creativity, and then you stitch the back, and then there she goes. Then there's the interlock wave. Interlock wave is a bit like the track wave, but instead of pulling the cornrow track, it's a very unique way of creating waves, where you just take needle and connect the stitching right at the base of the client's hair. Very, very intricate. Don't try it if you don't have training on it. Then the latch hook wave is where you use the latch hook itself. It's called a crochet, and then you actually use that to pull the hair through the cornrows. Now if you search down YouTube, there's so many images of latch hook weave. Then there's bonding weave. Bonding weave is where you use the glue that's really liquid glue, and you put it on the weft of the hair extensions, and you place it on the client's scalp. Not on the scalp, but on the base of the hair. So that gives you automatically length of hair without you having to do any stitching. The only problem with the bonding glue is that sometimes it don't last as long, because if this client tries to spray the hair with the hairspray, it automatically takes it out. But then I keep hearing people say, but that really damages hair. It really does not damage hair if you allow it to come out naturally, where you actually use the bonding remover and place it on the track of the bonding wave. It just comes out very easily. Lots of people try to force it with water and hairsprays. Why would you want to do that? But anyway, everything we're talking about here is for you to learn to do it the proper professional way. And so the net weave we talked about, where you actually get it's purely made for weaving. It's called net weave. You finish creating the cornrow and you put the net on it and you stitch on it. It really protects the client's hair. The stocking wig cap, this is where you have the wig cap, and then you take your bonding glue and you connect the exact design you want to create. Now lots of people like that, because in as much as I love wig, some people prefer that. Reason being, you can actually cut it to the shape that you want. While a wig is generally made for everyone, same design, your stocking wig design allows you to cut the style you are looking for. And then we have the tree braid weave, where it's similar to tree braid plaits. So you're actually creating cornrows and you're just taking strands of hair out of them. Again, learn to do it professionally. So the next natural hair techniques you'll be looking at is the fusion extensions. And that's what we also call the strand by strand extensions. Again, I like to say strand by strand could be anything. They could be braids, they could be weaves. I mean, not weaves, but strand by strand means you're taking strands and strands of hair. Micro braids to me is strand by strand extensions that you can offer your clients. So most times people think when we say strand by strand, we're only referring to the extensions that the Caucasian clients do. Anyone can have strand by strand extensions. Fusion, you're just connecting these strands of hair together without you actually finishing the whole length through. So there's so many ways we create fusion. So the micro rings, you take a tiny ring of hair, it's a bit like a plastic, and it's made in a very small ring. We show this in our video on hair extensions. So this tiny ring, you connect your client's hair and the extensions hair together. We've actually done a video on it on YouTube as well. So that's the micro rings. And then we have the glue gun, where it's actually like a gun, but there's a stick of glue that's actually put into it, and you actually press the glue and it comes out, which is different from where you have the liquid glue. So you press the stick, it's melted, it's connected to electricity, so it melts the glue and you connect your two strands of hair together. Now remember, don't go practicing what I'm trying to explain, because you would say Joy said that and then you do it without getting training. There's so many side effects that comes out of some of these hairstyles. So if you have training, your trainer will put you through what to avoid. I put you through everything you need to avoid in each of these techniques. So the glue gun or the glue pot is just glue that's melted, and you fuse your two strands of hair together. So the pre-bonded strands of extensions, they put glue at the tip of each of these extensions, and what you then do, there are ways you can do it. You can use the heat gun. Heat gun is a bit like the glue gun, but it's just hot. And what then happens is you fuse the two strands of hair together, which is why I keep using the word fuse. You take the client's hair and you take this hair extension that's already been pre-glued, and you put them together and apply the heat gun on them, so they actually melt together. Or you could actually insert that pre-bonded hair into the micro beads and again fuse them together. So there's so many ways of doing them, and these are all known as extensions. There's also the Brazilian knots, where you actually take a strand. There's so many types of strands, things that you can use to connect these two strands together. You could use the what was that thing I talked about earlier? You could use the yarn, remember the wool, and actually fuse these two strands of hair together. Or there's a specially made string that you actually use to connect the two strands together, and there's so many other strings you can use. And what happens is, instead of using the glue, instead of using the beads, you actually use this string to connect these two strands of hair together, and that is known as the Brazilian knots. Again, we're going to create a DVD out of that for you to see. So the other hair extensions types are what we call the hair units or the hair pieces. Hair units are mainly what you call the wigs. So the wigs come in different forms. There's the lace front wig, which was made really popular by celebrities like Beyonce and Tyra Banks and so many of them. Now what happens is the net that the wig actually sits on, unlike the regular length, it's so fine and it reflects the color of your own scalp. So when you put the lace front wig on, your skin scalp is actually showing through the net, and somebody actually thinks this is hair that's growing from your head. So this became really popular thanks to Beyonce and some of the other celebrities. But what then went wrong was the fact that glue was used to connect the hair, so the glue, the wig doesn't fall out, so it sort of like held in place like a cap that's been connected with a glue. Now when this happened, people were losing their hairline very quickly, and so the media then highlighted this issue, and people just decided, no, this from wig is not what I want. But then there's so many ways they redesign them. These days they put the comb in them just like regular wig, and you just stitch it in or flick it in, and then it sits in place. Some people actually take needle and thread and actually stitch it on. So instead of using the glue, you can just stitch it in, and then you have your lace front wig. Then we have the lace frontals. So some people actually weave the back with the needle and thread, same texture of hair, say Brazilian hair or Peruvian hair or Cambodian hair, same texture of hair. Then you have your lace frontal and you finish it off with that, still with the stitching, and that looks so natural. And then we have the clippings. The clippings are like little combs that are attached to the weft, and instead of creating the tracks, most of the Caucasian clients just use that to just press it into their hair. What they do, they back comb the hair to give a bit of body, and then they take the clips and then stick them into place so it sits in. Again, this is not very healthy for their hair, especially if you go to bed with them. But all these are just different forms of you being able to have whatever hair you're trying to achieve. And then we also have the regular wigs, which is where I love to fit in, because where the wigs come in is not every day you feel like wearing your hair out. It's not every day you take out your braids or you take out your weave and you want to just go out and do something, and because you have taken it out, so you're held back. And some people really do feel like they're imprisoned by their hair. But then that's where the wig comes in. So if you find you're feeling that way, just get a few sets of wigs in different designs, and whenever you don't have to deal with your hair, just put your wig cap on and wear it. And we've done lots of videos again on wigs. So we're just here to give you different options, and the options we're giving you, the student, is for you to give that option to your clients. Because remember, the world is 7 billion people. We cannot reach 7 billion people. We want you to share this knowledge with your clients, make money from it as well. It gives me exciting pleasure to show you some of the products I've been able to accumulate and work with for the past 9 years in this industry of educating people in natural hair designs. So now this is very important. I will be showing you a series of products, but like I always say to every student, is you start developing, start building your understanding of products. Products in natural hair is very important if you want to have healthy hair. And what we do here at World of Braiding is we ensure our clients' hair is healthy, stays natural, healthy, and this is what gives it the length they're looking for. This is what makes their hair look good and makes them trust you. So if you're advising your clients on products that will help their hair in so many different ways, you are this close. You are actually nearly the consultant we want you to be. Because when they come with various problems, you want to be able to deal with them. So I'll show you some of them, but I want you to be able to research and start developing your own understanding of the products that this industry gives. Remember, I did various trainings understanding the industry, and nobody gave me these products. This is what is unique about what we offer. So I'm bringing you into, I would say, behind the scenes. These are the things that make my clients love what I do with them. So you buying this DVD, you have been able to get to know some of the things that make our training unique. So we start with the braid sprays. When we say braid sprays, you've designed this lovely head of extensions with braids, with twist, with cornrows. You want your client's hair to stay healthy. So what are the things that she can use after she's left your chair? I get clients also complaining that lots of salons don't say anything to them. They just leave them to walk away, and it's like, how do I care for this hair? So your ability to guide them on how to care for their hair is what's going to make you unique, and is what's going to make them keep coming back to you. So we've grouped them into various groups, and these groups, I will show you some of the products, but again, I've said build up your own understanding. So first we start with a group of the sprays. And sprays are those things that you help to spray onto your scalp that will moisturize your scalp. Your scalp is no longer dry, and your hair can be healthy in the braids. What are the sprays we're looking at? We are looking at this is one of my favorite brand, and it's called Better Braids. Better Braids spray. So it's a braid spray. One thing I like about Better Braids is it's medicated. So again, different brands got their names on the kind of things they do, but this particular one is medicated. Remember, every brand has what they want to talk about. So when I say braid spray, you can go into Google and type in braid sprays, and you are going to get so many different brands. So that was Better Braids. This is Stay Sofro, again for braids. This is Sulfur 8. Now Sulfur 8, the unique thing about it is it actually is a dandruff treatment, and it actually helps to prevent itchy scalp. So if this client has done her braids, which I normally used to experience that after braids about 2-3 days my scalp will be itchy. Now that's simply because I've held my strands of hair in little groups, and because air is not getting to where the strands of hair have been held together, it results a bit of itch. So when you spray this, after 2 days it stops. So this takes care of the itchy scalp. Then this is another really good one. Again, it's called the Cornrow Magic. Again, Cornrow Magic also does the itchy, it relieves itching, it takes care of frizz, and it relieves split ends. Different products will tell you different things that they do, but that's the group of braid sprays. And some of the names I have here, African Pride is another group that does very good braid spray. Motions is another one. They have their ocean spray. Dark and Lovely got what they call the Almond Rain, and then Dr. Miracle has his own as well. So that's the braid sprays. Then we have dry dandruff and itchy scalp. So dry dandruff, itchy scalp. When it comes to dandruff, this is the best name I always recommend to all my clients. It's called Doc Nizoral, and it actually deals directly with dandruff. Now there's so many other dandruff products out there in the market, but this is actually a recommended one. Your doctor will actually prescribe this for you if you have a major case of dandruff. So I just give it to you. Here in the UK, you can get easily from Boots, but I don't know what other countries have. But this I know is absolutely brilliant on dandruff. Other things have so many other names like the Glovers. Then the Sulfur 8 has its own dandruff treatment, and other ones Atone for itchy, dry, flaky hair. Taking out braids. Now you finish your braids, they want it for the period, they want to take it out, and then there are so little knots at the ends of the braids. What do? This is a major one that lots of people get excited when I show them. There's a product here from African Pride, and it's called Ease Out Spray. Ease Out Spray is to help you take out those knots, release them, and you're able to easily comb through the hair. There's the other one, again from Better Braids, called the Ombraid. Very good, one of my favorite. Then there's the other one again. This one is from Isoplus, and it's called Braids and Twists Unlocker. Again, so many brands have their own different types, but these are just some of the brands that I put in here. So there's another company called Takedown. It's up to you to try and find out which one is going to work best for you. Okay, so the next set of products we're looking at are moisturizers. Now, moisturizers in natural hair, it's a major type of product you need to know about. Why do we need moisturizers? Because our hair is naturally dry, especially the afro hair we're talking about. So because the hair is dry, let's say your client wears pure natural afro hair, no chemicals in it. she's always going to come, which I find, with loads of dry hair. And when the hair is so dry, what do you need to do to get that hair easy to manage for you to be able to detangle it and work with it? Now, there's so many products out there, but the products I've worked with, and I've had a few people complain about, some of them are the moisturizers. And when we're thinking moisturizers, we're thinking detanglers. We're thinking products that can really allow your hair to be free. They come out in strands, they're not coiling around themselves, and you're able to work with them. So number one on that list, I'm going to take it from the natural side, which I work with, is the Beautiful Textures. Again, Beautiful Textures does a good job for me because it allows me to detangle my client's hair and I'm able to work with it. Now, this is one thing I say to people. This is another one. This is from Jane Carter Solution. She says it's 98% natural, meaning there's 2% of what you don't know, but it is natural. So this is just a sample size, but you can always get a proper size. This is another one from Curl Organic Root Stimulator. That's their natural hair range. Again, a sample. But these people have proper products that are really major sizes that you can work with. This is another one from Kids Organic. Lots of moms who've asked me, what's the best product I can use on my children's hair? I recommend this. It's got shea butter in it, and it's also got olive oil in it. So the more natural products they put in them, the better for you. Another brand that I also like working with is from this company called Avalon, Keracare. Keracare is also very good. They have their own natural hair range. Now, what I encourage people to do is read the ingredients they have put in there. If there are natural products that you can relate with in the products, go with them. Apart from those ones, the ones that, again, generations tested and have been used over and over are these ones. That's Motions, and it clearly says moisturizer. I've worked with Motions and I've been happy with it. There's also the Pink Oil. Pink Oil is very old and again is a moisturizer. Another one is the Soft and Free, is a moisturizer. So those are the kind of things you want to think about. What I always say to people, do not go getting Vaseline and Blue Magic and things like that and put it in your client's hair. You can put it on the hair extensions, but not on your client's hair. The ingredients in there are not healthy for hair. What they actually do is they block the pores and they don't allow your hair to grow. So the more natural the product, the better. So the next thing you're going to see and hear a lot in our industry is the damaged hairline. Now, this is a major issue in the black hair industry because as kids, when we're growing up, our parents are constantly trying to, manipulate our hair, braid it, do different things with it. And then when we're doing all that, holding them in ponytails, when we're doing all that, what's happening is the hair gradually starts to recede. Now, lots of people tend to say the afro hair, the black hair, is the most damaged of all the hair types in the hair industry. Fine, that's because we manipulate it a lot. And if you don't do it properly, you see your client's hairline completely receding. When that happens, what are some of the things we should be dealing with? So some of the things I recommend people do to help their clients is work with hair products that help to actually grow the hair back. This is one of my favorite, and is the Virgin Hair Fertilizer. We have this in stock. So if you find your client's hairline is receding, go for this and just let her put this on her hairline like every day. The hair gradually starts growing back. This is another one called the Growth Renew. Growth Renew, from the image you see there, supposedly the lady had no hairline and gradually the hairline started growing back. Try it and see what you think. Again, don't think that because I've suggested these products, they are the be all and end all. There are some products you will try and they don't do it for you. But just give it a try anyway. This is Do Grow, and Do Grow also does a very good job. Some of my clients, what they've done is they've used the hair fertilizer and the Do Grow together, and they helped to recover their hairline. This is another one, the Dr. Miracle Temple and Nape Grow Balm. I'm not a fan of Dr. Miracle's, but I'll tell you where I really love Dr. Miracle. But for this particular one, some people said it did work for them. I don't know how true. You can give it a try and see if it works for you. Another product that really does help hair growth is this one called the Wild Growth. Now what the Wild Growth does is it contains lots of natural oils that actually help hair to grow. So again, give it a try. Then there's the T44Z, T444Z. This, of all the products here in the hair renew or hair growth products, is the most expensive, but people who have used this said it really did work for them. I have not tried it personally, but I know there are people who said it really did do amazing work for them. Again, if you go on the internet and search it, you might hear some people's comments about it. It's up to you to try it and see what you think. So those are hair growth. Okay, before I go into damaged hair, which is the next thing I'm going to talk about, there's something else I do when I'm trying to detangle my client's hair. Natural afro hair, I want to detangle it. I get the natural oils, and these are natural oils. That's peppermint oil. This one is the castor oil, and this is the rosemary oil. So I get a combination of different oils. There's so many more. There's olive oil, there's sunflower oil, there's almond oil. It's up to you to find out a bit more about your natural oils, and I get all of them in a tiny lovely little spray bottle like that. So you get a lovely spray bottle. We have them in stock. You can decide whatever oil combination you want to add to it and just spray it on this client's hair before you put the moisturizers in. What then happens is the water in the container and the oils together help to detangle the hair, and then the moisturizers actually then seals in. If you use just the water alone, they dry out in no time, and if you use just the moisturizers, they really don't sit in. So a combination of both of them help to really allow the hair to detangle, and then you can work with them. You can also use that same formula to work with your natural hair every day if you don't want to put them in braids. It actually does help to detangle your hair. So that's something I thought I should just bring to your attention. Now, when the hair is damaged, her hair is really dry and is breaking really quickly. That means that sometimes it's because there's too much protein in the hair, and sometimes it's because, again, there's no moisturizers in the hair. Apart from the moisturizers, some of the things you could do is Organic Root Stimulator is one of my favorite manufacturers that deals with this. So what they do is they have a set, and they call it the hair renew pack. It's all about, they have what they call this scalp scrub, and it's got like a toothbrush and a product in it, and you actually take the toothbrush in the product and apply the product on the scalp, and you're sort of like brushing the scalp. What it does, it takes away the flakes on the scalp and allows your scalp to open itself up for the products to come in. One or two allows your hair to grow back again. So that is a set that's worth buying. So if you get that, the next thing that comes with it is the hair mayonnaise, which again helps to release your hair and allow it to detangle. And then most times as part of it is the carrot oil. So there's the carrot oil and there's the olive oil, and then they also have the uplifting shampoo, which also helps to relieve, the dryness on your scalp, to actually remove the scalp there and then allow your hair to breathe again. That uplifting shampoo is really, really brilliant. It's one of my favorite shampoos. Now, apart from that, when you really do have damaged hair and your hair is chemically processed, this is one of the products I recommend. I don't like dealing with chemically damaged hair, but this is a product that I know about, ApHogee treatment for damaged hair. When you apply it on the hair, then you sit under the hooded dryer, your hair goes all cakey and stiff, and then that's when it's washed out. Now they insist it has to be a professional to do this, so don't try using this on your own hair. You have to go to the salon and then mention to them that this is what you want to work with, or maybe buy yours and take it with you and let them read the instruction and work with it. So gels and glazes are just this is especially very good for teenagers. They love to zand their hair and then allow the baby hair to slip on the edges. And some of the products that create those amazing look is this one from Olive, what do they call themselves? Olive and sunflower oil, and then they have what they call the edge dimmer, which is very good. It slips, usually on the baby hair, and it slips. There's the other one called Let's Jam. equally very good, and Elasta QP is another really good one to give you that slick edges that you may be looking for. The next thing to look at is the shampoos. Again, lots of people braid their hair and they really don't like to wash it. Not because they hate to wash their hair, but because some of the hair extensions, the minute you wash them, you lose the luster, you lose the beauty of it, especially the wavy hairs. Now, if that was the case, then we got shampoos that are really good. And this particular one is called the Herbal Cleanse, and it comes from Organic Root Stimulator. It's called the dry shampoo. Exactly how it is, it comes in that nozzle. Put it on the scalp and you take a damp warm towel and just dab the scalp. That cleanses the scalp and the client is fine. Now make sure you read the instruction before you use it. This is another one called the spray shampoo, purely for braids, and this one comes from Stay Soft Pro. Again, just spray it on the scalp and then use the damp towel and cleanse it off. So those are the options if you don't feel like actually washing your hair. Now, the only time I will be saying to you don't go washing your hair is if you're wearing wavy hair extensions, and the minute you mess around with it, especially the synthetic ones, they tend to tangle a lot. So the dry shampoos do a great job of that. Now, some of the other things we're looking at are the leave-in conditioners. So if you've braided your hair, you've done the dry shampoo, you want to be able to put some products in your hair without actually creating a lot of residue at the base of the scalp. That's where the leave-in conditioners come in. And this particular one is from Isoplus, and it's called 24/7 leave-in conditioner. So what you do is just spray your scalp with this product, and your scalp is being refreshing, and is a conditioner that's already in place. There's another one, leave-in conditioner. There's so many different brands, but I think that, this is the other one I love to work with, is the Infusium. Infusium is a leave-in hair treatment. Now, Infusium has done a lot of repackaging, which is really pretty, but this is the one I have right here, and they've broken them into different groups, so you should have the time to take your time and really look at it. This particular one was for fine and limp hair. So again, ways you can play with this, you can mix it with your leave-in conditioner and just spray it in the scalp, and it allows your scalp to be refreshing again. So that's Infusium. Isoplus, I've just shown you that. And then what's the Better Braids also has one, their leave-in conditioner, and I don't have it right here on the table. So the next things we're looking at is the hair pressing and thermal heat. Hair pressing and thermal heat is, again, we encourage that instead of using chemical relaxers, maybe occasionally you want to go out and have your hair looking all straight and nice. That's fine. If you want to do that, you use the hot comb, which is the one we put on the electric stove, and then it gets all hot and you're stretching the hair out. Before you do that, make sure you protect your hair. And this is one of the best ones I work with. It's Motions, and it's called the Heat Seeker. Now, so many other manufacturers also create products. I know there's another brand, that Keracare, they have very good ones as well. It protects your hair while you can apply heat on it, and then your hair will not get damaged. So the next thing is when you have braids on. Some people have problems with my braids because I haven't washed my hair in 2 weeks, or it's smelling really crazy. Let's say you're able to put the dry shampoo, you cleanse it, it's all nice, and you put the leave-in conditioner. Next thing you want to do is to put a hair freshener in it. And the Isoplus is one of my favorite with the hair freshener. It smells really gorgeous. So that's one of the things you put in. Organic Root Stimulator got another one they call the hair freshener as well, something worth looking at. And then this other one, Black and Sassy Fresh Braids. So these are just products that just help to make the braids smell nice. They're like perfumes for the hair, so it's important for you to know about them. So Lock and Twist Gel. Now you want to be able to twist, or you want to be able to lock the hair without having to struggle to get the hair to sit in place. These are some of the products that I love working with. Isoplus has a very good brand. It's called the Lock and Twist Molding Cream. So again, so many different brands create their own, but this is one of the best ones. And then Organic Root Stimulator also has his own brand, which is Lock and Twist Gel. Again, as usual, read the instruction and make sure you're working with the right ones. Next thing I forgot to mention was this particular one, Rasta Mango and Lime No More Itch Grow Spray. Lots of people tell me this product is amazing on their hair. So it's worth looking at. No more itch, but it also helps to grow your hair. The other thing I also didn't mention is the cleansing of your scalp. So apart from the dry shampoos, this is another thing that's really good, is the distilled witch hazel. It's just a very soothing cleansing product. You can use it to cleanse your face, and you can also use it to cleanse your scalp. So this other one, that's witch hazel or distilled witch hazel. They both do the same thing. All you do is put them on the cotton pad and cleanse your scalp with them, just like you will cleanse your face with the makeup being removed. Another thing you can think about is rubbing alcohol. Again, put it on the cotton pad and cleanse your scalp with it. Now you could mix it with a little bit of water, because some of them are so strong, like the surgical spirits. Remember, they use these things in the hospital when they are cleansing the wound. So this is something that's worth looking at. Professional beauty system, we use it to cleanse the scalp when we have to do that without having to wash the hair. Okay, so we're carrying on with the braiding problems and product awareness and all of that. So the next stage I want you to look at is your clients have problems, they've come to you and they want you to help them. This is where we're looking at the consultation stage of your career, where how do I explain to my client what is going on and what are the things I could recommend to them that's good for them. So hence we showed you all those products, but this is the form some of the questions will come. They might say to you, it takes long to braid hair. Now if someone said that to you, what are your solutions to dealing with that problem? You could get 2 or 3 of your friends to work with you and to get the hair done quicker than they would normally want it done. So if 2 people are sitting and doing hair that would take 8 hours, that means 4 hours. If 3 people, divide that by 3, and that's how quick you can deal with it. Sometimes they'll say it takes long to take out the braids. Yes, it does take long, so it's always easy for you to offer the service of taking out the braids, because what some clients tend to do, they sit for a whole weekend slowly, gradually taking out their braids. But what if they came to you and you offer the service? Then you have to take it out quicker than they would, and you charge for the extra service of taking out the hair. My hair itches in braids. That's one of the questions you will get. So again, we've shown you products and things like Sulfur 8 or the Do Grow or the Grow Organics. These are some of the products that will actually help to stop the itch. My hair smells in braids. What did we show you? We showed you the hair fresheners, and that could help to take away the smell. My hairline is breaking. We showed you some products that help to grow back the hairline. Do Grow, Virgin, Dr. Miracle. The braids are too tight and they pull. Now we don't recommend that you pull the hairline too much, and because it's so tight, some people really lose a lot of hair from that. People also have lots of headache with the tightness of the braids, and this is one of the biggest problems the mainstream media have against braiding, because they love to hide under the fact that because the braids are tight, people are losing hair. I read so many books and so many articles on the internet, and all they're saying is Black African people, they wear braids that are too tight and it pulls out the hair. But no one wants to talk about the chemicals that's damaging the hair. No one wants to talk about the other equipment that damages the hair. So your role is to try not to damage your client's hair by deliberately pulling the scalp too tight. Now, there is a solution as well. If you find the client is very, very sensitive, because sometimes you haven't pulled too tight and she says it really does hurt, there's a product. This is where I said I actually do love Dr. Miracle. This braid relief product is really good. It has, I don't know what ingredients in there that actually numbs that feeling of pain. So you just spread that exactly where the pain is, and it just stops it from being so hurtful. So braid relief is absolutely one of my favorite on that one. So again, some people complain about allergic reactions when they wear braids or some extensions. This is just like everything else in life. There are people who react to dust mites, there are people who react to gold, there are people who react to nuts in their food. So some people are bound to react because sometimes the extensions are sprayed with different chemicals in order to keep it going or sustain it or make it last as longer. So when that happens, let them stop using that particular hair extensions or even the products if they say a product is causing them to react. Now with hair extensions, some clients, what they do is they wash it before they use it. So that's a choice you have to make. Tell them about it. If the knots, it's at the base, when they take out the braids and they want to be able to come through before they shampoo the hair, we've talked about the on-braid and the ease out. So all of those products help to take care of those concerns. And I always say, like every other industry, there are problems that will always come up, but here we are able to find solutions to the problems. Now we remember the thick afro hair that I'm not able to comb through it. What's the problem? Now this is where the moisturizers come in, and you remember we talked about all the different types of moisturizers. We want to be able to cleanse our scalp without having to wash it. What should I use? We talked about the dry shampoos, and I want you to be able to tell them the best ones or the ones that you worked with. The other thing I didn't mention was the tea tree oil is one of those antiseptic oils that actually helps to cleanse the scalp. We talked about the dandruff scalp, which we talked about, and I said to you to use Nizoral is one of the best ones for dealing with that. You will have people come to you and say, my hair is not growing no matter what I do. Now when hair doesn't grow, we're going to deal with hair. But before we go into understanding why hair may not grow, there are some products again that are out there to help people get the hair that they want. And some of them are just purely vitamins. And when you drink them, they basically put into your body those things that are lacking, that's making your hair not grow. And this is one of the really good ones that's in the industry, is the Perfect Teal. Here in the UK, you can get that easily in Superdrug or Boots. So any pharmacy will have this. And again, in the US, there's so many different types. This is another one from a company here called Holland & Barrett. It's purely for hair, skin, and nails. And remember, nails, hair, and skin come from the same source in the body. So everything you're trying to target the hair or the skin, they all work together. So these are some of the good ones for helping the hair grow back. You have clients who say to you, my hair is so thin, no matter what I do, it's not getting thick. This is two of my favorite. It's the Do Grow range, and they are called anti-thinning shampoo and the anti-thinning conditioner. When you use this, I know a client whose hair was so thin and she tried both of them, and actually her hair became really, really thick. I don't know what they have in it. You can take your time to read it. But I don't have that problem, so I don't worry about it. But if you find someone with that problem, suggest that, let them try it and see if they like it. So natural afro hair products, we've talked about so many of them, but some of the videos I've done on YouTube, I tend to explain what is going on with our hair. Make sure you're aiming for products that really take away the dryness from your hair. And this is one of the really good shampoos I've worked with. It's a Happy Hair Days. And there are so many other products out there that are natural. Remember, we talked about the natural hair products section. Each of them have their shampoos that also do the same job as some of this. But what you want to look out for is SLS or sulfates, parabens, gentle formulation. You want the product to be purely natural. If it's natural, it helps because it takes away, it doesn't dry out your hair. Now, SLS is all about detergents in the products or sulfates. When you have a lot of that in a shampoo, what it does is when you wash your hair, the product strips the natural oil from your hair. And what you're left with is this dry hair that just breaks with every touch. So when you look for sulfate-free products, they help you to stop that taking away or stripping of your natural oil. The other thing you look out for is the conditioners. And Tresemme Naturals is one of the really good ones in that line. If you really look at it, it says silicone free. Again, silicone just helps to make sure, the silicone free ones helps to make sure that your hair is all free from being coated with ingredients that you don't want in your hair, and your hair can be free to detangle itself and you're able to comb through your hair easily.